What up, my devil? Sensei Tutum with another video for you. So, today I'm going to do another one of my brief, you can use that in air quotes, brief Bitcoin and SPX macro updates. It's only been a few months, so honestly, when you're looking at a large time frame chart, generally, when you're not necessarily too caught up on the smaller degree, you're not going to be flipping your count and your ideas around a lot. At least I don't personally. Obviously, with TA, ideas always change, but your macro ideas, if you have a basic idea what you're doing, usually I feel like don't change often. And I say that like every time I would do one of these videos, how these ideas don't really change. So my ideas haven't really changed much. But I did promise in the last video, actually what I did do is I called for fun, because I was asked to, a top, and it was, and even in the video, if you listen to it, I didn't love it. I said I didn't like to go lower than higher, and I had all these other targets on the chart, and I still picked lower because, no balls. Anyway, I said 42.80. We're almost there, so I figured it's time for an update. And so just so happened to coincide with, at the time, I said we were starting to hit signpost for the top on Bitcoin. I believe we were at 54,000 something. We'll look at it on that chart. And you have to see if my idea changed. What do you think? Did my ideas change on that one? And I even said in that video where I thought we were going. You think those ideas changed? Spoiler, they didn't. But you'll have to stick around to the end to see what I'm talking about, if you don't remember the last video. So before we start, and I did say that after on the last SPX video that I would readdress when I had a little more useful information, because we didn't quite have enough good info at the time to really pick a decent top, and we'll go ahead and try that here with some analysis. Still think it's a fool's errand, still think it's a bad idea, still think that these, especially the equities, always go up longer than you expect them to. As you see, the velocity is increasing. This is expected. Stop from there. We're going to get into the TA in a second, but when we are considering the overall stock market, the SPX, which is really, the 500, but it's the overall stock market, right? When we're considering that, an analog for the economy, supposed to be. What is the economy right now? Anyway, we do need to think, I think we necessarily need to think a little bit about economics, macroeconomics, just a little bit. And, when it comes to Elliott Wave, I'm an expert in that. I can say that with a straight face. I'm an expert. I think I'm really good. I'm an expert. I'm a CWEA-M from, the leading Elliott Wave body in the world, Elliott Wave Institute, certified Elliott Wave analyst / master. So I can say that with a straight face. I'm an expert. When it comes to economics, I'm not. I'm informed. Pay attention to it. It's a hobby. I like it. I'm far from an expert. I don't even know if any, professional economists are experts, because it's like predicting the freaking weather. Not the climate, the weather. But thinking about that, what has happened is that one of the reasons I've continued to think we are going to keep going up, because of the economic environment of printing, right? Everybody knows money printer go burr, but what does that mean in real terms? Well, it's so far, despite what you might see on the news, that it's not causing inflation, despite what the Fed is telling you, that it's not causing inflation. It's causing inflation, and it has been causing inflation. And that just simply means that the value of money is decreasing, and this is around the world, and even the dollar against other currencies at the moment. I think it's going to continue to shit the bed, but I think all currencies are doing the same thing. It's a race to debase, right? Anyway, they're decreasing the value of the dollar, meaning that assets like stocks, Bitcoin, gold, real estate, lumber, food, they're all going up. In fact, if you have gone to the local hardware or big Home Depot store, you'll see that lumber is insanely higher and just continues to go higher. It's insane. All commodities are ripping, right? Have been ripping. with, pullbacks, of course. But, gold and silver have actually lagged a bit. It spells opportunity, right? So they're going higher. Energy sector's going higher. Procter & Gamble just released a statement that they're going to increase prices. Procter & Gamble sells your diapers and your other big household items and things like that. That, to a lot of households, that's big on the old pocketbook, right? So prices are going up. Gas, oil, it's going up. You see it at the pump. The cost of living is going up, and based on all the funny money statistics out there, they say it's not that bad, but I think pretty soon the people are going to start feeling it. But in the meantime, before that happens, we're just going to see astronomical continue increase of asset values. New cars, the sticker price. When has in my life the sticker value of a car ever been lower than what you can get it for? That you used to be able to go to the dealer and know you could get, in America here anyway, you could get several % off the sticker price. Oh, you're never going to pay the sticker. Yeah, you're still not paying the sticker. Like, you're paying sometimes, 20 grand more, 5 grand more. It's crazy. And not to mention you can't get anything. So we have shortages, which causes more demand, which causes higher increase in prices. So, yeah, the prices are going to keep going up by my estimation. And if I could talk about the economic side because, I have a lot of ideas, even though I'm no expert, for a long time. But just if you want to inform yourself and you're not, a couple things that you may want to check out. Ray Dalio's debt cycle video. Check that out. You could read the first economics book I ever read was called Economics in One Lesson by I can't remember who it was, old dude. But that's basically your old Austrian school of economics that would tell you, a lot of Bitcoin people are in that, right? In that camp. Or you should go check out Warren Mosler. He wrote Soft Economics, I believe is what his book is called. I can't remember, but he's, you can watch lectures and shit from him as well. He's like the MMT guy that basically says that you can print to infinity, which of course you can, but we're going to have to see how that, and we're doing it, right? So we're going to have to see how that that represents in the real world, right? Because we're printing. Government's handing out checks. People can't, lower paying jobs can't get their employees to come back in the States here because, and I'm not blaming anyone, by the way. If I could make more not working, I would not. I wouldn't work. Why would you? It gives the employer incentive to raise prices, right? Why? Raise prices so they can raise wages. But, they're going to have to raise the prices, raise wages, inflation, more spending. It's just going to keep, going up because these restaurants are reopening and they are going to find that they need employees, and the way to get that is to pay them more than unemployment, right? Which is a good thing, can be, but we're going to have to find out what all this endless supply of money does. Besides, raise prices, hopefully not faster than people can afford to live. So in light of that, check out those things. Ray Dalio's economics video, Economics in One Lesson. Warren Mosler, I think it's Soft Economics, something or another. Read it, but he's got a lot of lectures and stuff that if you like the YouTubes, and you must if you're here. And I probably lost everybody on this video, but just wanted to throw that out there. So I do still think that the price of the stock market is not even close to finished going up, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to pick a top, and when I do, I have a feeling it's gonna be lower than the actual top, but we'll try and do it here. So we had this multiple zigzag count. This is quite an ugly motive here, but I think that what we had at this point can be considered structure, corrective, and now we are in another structure off of it. The question has been, when this first started playing out based on slope and things like that, I thought that this was going to be another one too, but to be honest, this was another one too, meaning that we're calling this a completed 5-wave structure. In a WXY zigzag, you expect to have a 5, 3, 5, then another 3, and then a 5, 3, 5. So something like this, as you see the count. So basically, based on my count, you know, we're gonna end probably. These are just dropped here. They're not projections. Somewhere up there. You know, I called this 4281, and realistically, I bet you I can project it out to where that still holds value. But I just don't. You know, unless there's something that happens, like we declare war on Russia or something over the Ukraine or some crazy shit like that, that, you know, these people do. See, this to me, so what we just had here was this another? I was expecting. I thought we had a 5-wave complete to this point. We did have enough of a retracement in this market to call this a 5-wave with a retrace. So was this a 1 of a 3, or was this potentially a 3 less than a 1272? I don't think so. Clearly, we're seeking higher, and it may not be done. Let's go down to the 1 hour here because we're going to use this for projections. Looks like we're probably putting an impulse in here, so hard to say. So we're just going to go back out to the macro since I don't want to focus too much in the weeds. I'm just going to see if I can maybe use this as a pivot. So let's just go ahead and start pulling some targets here. So clearly my 1-to-1 is probably, see, my 1-to-1 was way up here. I wonder what I picked. I think I picked this for some geometry purposes, and it's got the 618 there. 1-to-1, this is the most likely relationship for a Y wave relative to a W wave, just like a zigzag, an A to a C. And the way this is playing does look pretty standard still, typical, you know, zigzag type of look. So I'm still not trying to change this count to a motive, even though, you know, like I say, I think we're gonna have quite a bit of inflation. It's going up higher than I think. Not changing this to motive, not yet anyway. I don't think that's gonna last forever. Matter of fact, if it didn't last till the end of the year, I would not be shocked. Maybe it won't even last till the end of the summer. And when I say last, I mean the stock market and it's infinite going up. But at the moment, risk on, baby. Because I think we likely get higher. So 1-to-1 for projection of that. Let's 1-to-1 projection of this wave, because that's the same thing within a zigzag. Most likely relationship of A to Z, or A to C is 1-to-1. So that would take us a little much lower actually. Let's take this stuff off. So 1-to-1 of this wave would only be here, whereas 1-to-1 of this wave is there. We are in log. That looks better. We're gonna take this out of log just because we don't need it for the scale. So this gives us a little bit better looking cluster anyway. It's never bad to check log and arithmetic, but with this scale, we just really don't need it, the log. We'll take the 618 off. This was coinciding with the log 618 extension. Let's see, what else do we want here? We wouldn't expect this to be higher. If this WXY were an X wave, we would not expect it to be higher than 2 times the length of the W or the A, whatever this turns out to be. So we wouldn't expect it to be higher than that. We would start to violate guidelines at that point. It's happened. Doesn't happen often at all. They're there for a reason. I've only seen it violate that once and work out. And the other time I saw it was probably here. Nope, it did not. So it actually didn't even violate there. Let's see. Now let's get to log for some larger geometry. I know I usually don't get many people to watch these videos, but I imagine this week, I say this every week, will be less than most. But that's okay. zoom in. Magnet tool not working for me. Zoom in on this guy. Zoom in on this guy. Get this just right. See if we can use it. So we're using 3 dominant swings. 1, 2, 3. By the way, again, I think this was the all-time 1-2. Oh, look at that, baby. So I like that. Have we hit that at all yet? So we hit it before it was drawn. I always like to say that I love medians that show relevance before they're ever drawn. This one has. If we go out of log, this thing's probably kind of useless, yeah. But see how important the median was in non-log. So go back to logarithmic. Let's change these to. Let's check this checkbox. This should show me then not arithmetic level instead of log fibs. Ooh, baby, juicy. All right. I wouldn't say we have any algos playing this time frame, so I'm not even gonna swing them. I lied. I'm gonna swing them. That breaks the 618, and we went through. Although we showed resistance right at this level. Let's see. It's on fib actually. Get rid of this. You guys know who I am. Okay, so I'm gonna make a if I call it based on all this confluence, I'm gonna make a terrible call because I feel like the amount of time it's gonna take us to get this level is like tomorrow, and that's not probably nearly enough time. But then also if we project out on this final C wave, so if this is, we'll just say it's go high project. High probability areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Would have to draw that as well. This is how you build confluence, fellas. For the 2 of you that stuck with me, if we even have that this week. All right, another point of confluence. All right, I'm gonna pick a number, and this is the zone. I got all this nice little juicy zone up in here. Again, I really think this is a horrible call because I just don't, based on what I told you about the economy. And again, I'm not an expert in that regard. But I'm also, as I like to say, not an expert in picking tops. So I'm going to go ahead and since we're just having fun here, talking about economics and picking tops, I'll go right in between the highest point. Nope, I'm gonna go. You know what? 4,600. Fuck it, 4,600. That's the new call. First call was down here, 4,208. I said at the time I thought it was low, and I had these. Pretty sure they were the same targets on the chart. Although I don't know if I had that median before. Maybe I did. Calling for higher than I had called previously. I just had no balls. So this time I'm going to call for that. And now, anybody who thinks that I'm suggesting that you sell all of your stocks, liquidate your 401k, whatever, take a second mortgage on your house, generate as much cash as you can to buy the great economic collapse. I'm not saying that at all. Please don't take it that way. I really just like to trade on the 1 hour time frame, but these macro charts keep us honest, let us know where we are, and we do pretty good with them, so there's no reason not to keep them up to date. But yeah, so I'm thinking same idea that we've had. Multiple zigzag, WXY. It's getting awful big to continue to think that. If this continues on further and extends, then we might start to think of maybe this was a completed motive in here somewhere, and this is in progress of a wave 3. That would be the next. Let's say that's the alternative. This is somehow a motive in here, even though I've gone over how much I hate that, and that this would be wave 3 of an impulse in play, even though, you know, the slope of it, characteristics of it are not what you would expect. Although I expect they will get that way, should this happen, because we are increasing velocity as we speak. But we'll see. We'll see. So 4,600. I'm gonna call it there, and I'm sure I'll be wrong. And if I'm not, I'll shout it from the rooftops how I'm genius. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Let's go to Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin, quick. So this is not, you know, you've gotten multiple updates from Sam lately. There's no reason for me to update my account even further. You know, we've been in discussion, so he's giving you my thoughts in his videos. So I'll keep this very short. The last macro update I did, I think we were around this area here and hitting this 618. This is a 618 parallel on this pitchfork. I like to do Fibonacci parallels. But yeah, I like this level. I obviously like that level on all my pitchforks, and it has shown to be quite useful in this regard. At the time when this was playing out here, just the way this was consolidating, I was thinking that this would be a bullish break, and it faked us out. And members know I said that could very well happen. But I do like to trade a pattern that looks like this on my trading time frame. That when it does fail, it usually fails this way. But I was thinking this was a triangle with a breakout, and we'd go up for finishing the 5th wave. But we didn't. So the ending diagonal count that you can see posted by me on Twitter. I'm sure there's a million people out there that have it, but check me out at Sensei Tutum if you don't know what I'm talking about. Although Sam, really, I think he went over it pretty in depth on his previous video, so I won't. But what I really wanted to say in this one with the update is way back here when I was saying that we were starting to hit signposts for a potential top, that it was coming. Obviously it was. Well, doesn't necessarily. We haven't even gotten external yet, right? We're not external of anything. So this could continue on internal still. We are not even external. So don't go calling, 5K yet, right? We're still not even external. I'm not even taking short trades yet. I like to stick with the trend once we get external, and then start trending after getting external, as in don't go right back in. That's when I'll look to trade short and have it. That's just me. I trade conservatively, and I swing trade because I'm a busy boy. So if this is the count, and it did play out that way, and this was an ending diagonal, which is what I've got, then the same area that I told you guys the last time I did a macro update, around 30K, still think that. And it's just going to be this 4. Now, again, I warned you the last video. You need to be careful. We always need to be careful, and this is why trading season 3s are great, because whether the first wave is an A or a 1, you're always going to get a 3 or a C, right? But if it's a C, you don't get the 5. So you got to be careful. Loading bags, things like that. I feel as confident in an impulse in play as I can, personally. So that this is a 4 that we are going to be experiencing. And there is a 5 to come, but I am not, but it's never as good as a 3/C. So I just wanted to basically give you those 2 ideas on Bitcoin. Be careful, because it is 3 waves finished, but I do think strongly that it is a 4 in play. And if it is, and if we do get external of this move, then the area that I expect that we retrace to, somewhere back in this, I'm not going to give you an exact, because I have nothing to project from, right? But what we do know is that if this is an ending diagonal, the guidelines of an ending diagonal, which are quite reliable in my estimation and experience, one of the most reliable guidelines that you can see in Elliott Wave is that price will swiftly retrace the length of the ending diagonal, which in this case brings us down to one of the highest probability retracement areas after wave 3 is wave 4 of one lesser degree. So often the terminus of wave 4. right into this 30K range. So swiftly retrace the length of this. You know, maybe we put in something like this and go up. You know, a sideways. This would be observing alternation in a sharp wave 2. It took up like no time. So, you know, channeling guidelines are going to be a bit rough here, but, you know, if it were to break, typically using channeling guidelines, if it were to start breaking this area, then we start to get worried that it might not be a wave 4 and it might be something more. But, you know, that wave 2 is so insignificant, it's going to be tough to know if we can trust those in this instance. But maybe it does something like this. Sharp, really sharp A. Go all the way back up here. You know, basically, we might be in for some pain the rest of the year. You know, but it generally means there's going to be still volatility, some good trading. Just, you know, if you just sit there and hold your coins and watch the chart, you might be sad. It's up and down, up and down. But that's crypto. You got to get used to it. So, all right, guys, this has probably been a less than stellar video for you, but hope you enjoyed it. Toot out.